What's going on, guys? It's Cedar here, and today I'm here with another review. This review is Millennium Force, ranked by the Golden Ticket Awards the #1 roller coaster in the world many times in a row. This coaster was made by Intamin and was the first ever Giga coaster. As always, let's start with the stats. It is 310 feet high with a 300-foot drop. It is 93 miles per hour. The duration is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And the track length is 3,595. Now let's get into the ride. I love this coaster. I'll be going through the whole ride, element by element, and saying how good it is. So you first leave the station, and you go up this cable lift hill, the first ever cable lift hill, and you go up it really fast. That's what I love. Even though it's so high, normally you wouldn't go up. You would go really slow if it was that high. But since it has a cable lift, you have no clickety clacks, and just go really faster than the normal lift hill. And on that way, you have probably one of the best views you'll ever have on any roller coaster. You have a view of beautiful Lake Erie. You can even see Canada. I would say it definitely is better. I would say it has the best view. Valravens is good, but it still has probably the best view ever. I mean, you get to see all Lake Erie, the rest of the park where Maverick is, and where you can see Steel Vengeance, but not. The last time I saw it, it wasn't Steel Vengeance wasn't operating yet, but you can see almost everything. It's just an awesome view. So you get to the top, and then you go down this 300-foot drop. This thing is huge. I would say this drop is the best part of the ride. For a lot of rides, I say that the drop is the best, just because you feel so weightlessness, and you go out of your seat so long, and you just it feels like just floating in midair. It is insanely good. So you go up, get to the top, and go down that insane drop. And then you go down. If you ride it in the dark, you will get covered by mosquitoes. I rode it, and I got really covered by mosquitoes so bad. It's so messy. It's just fun. So after the drop, you go into this huge bank turn. I mean, this bank turn is absolutely massive. You can see it from almost anywhere in the back of the park. It's just massive. And it's just really fun. You are just flying. I mean, just the whole thing about this ride, it's just gliding across this track really fast. That's what I love. That's why it's in my top 10. Because I just love the gliding and the speed and the height. It can get rough. Well, it can have a hair bit of a rattle. Not that bad at all. It barely even touches the ride. Just because it's older. What am I saying? It's just because it's older. You are farther away from the track, and it kind of vibrates a little more. But I mean, that barely does anything to the ride experience. It is just fun. I mean, you still can feel a little bit, but it doesn't really matter at all. So you go through that huge bank turn, and you're just flying near to the ground, and then you go through this tunnel, one of 2 tunnels on the ride. And I mean, this is the second tunnel is where you get your picture. This one, you are just it's I don't know why, but it kind of feels like a near miss element, because every single time I go under, I kind of put my hands down, because and most people do, because they feel like they're gonna get hit by the tunnel. So that's why it kind of feels like a near miss element. But yeah, it's really dark in there, which is really cool. And then you go through this massive airtime hill. You do get some airtime. It's huge floater airtime. It's just massive. You just are flying out of your seat. I mean, it isn't the best airtime hill, but it's still a good one. So then you go down, and then you go through these bank turns at the end, which is the turnaround, and it's on an island where Dinosaurs Alive is, which is really cool, and it's right next to Top Hill Dragster. That's where I got all of this footage from Dinosaurs Alive, just because they have the platinum passes. We can go into Dinosaurs Alive and just see all the things, and get good footage of Millennium Force. So all of those bank turns, there's actually 3 bank there are 2 bank turns. One is right after the airtime hill, and then the other then you bank a little bit and go through the other overbanked turn. Those are just really fun. I mean, you just gliding across this track, then you it's kind of and then you're just gliding across this track. It's kind of like curved, just gliding. That is just really fun. And then you go into this, the airtime hill that's right under the first big airtime hill, which is actually, it's really cool. It feels really cool. I mean, just looking at it from a distance, it just looks really cool. It does have some decent airtime, just probably as good as the first airtime hill. And then after that airtime, you go into the second tunnel where it takes your picture, and that's a good tunnel too. I like the first tunnel better just because you aren't going as fast in the second tunnel, but it's still fun. And then you go through this massive, or not, what am I saying? It's like kind of ejector airtime hill right near the station. Like when you're waiting in line, just flies right past, and you actually fly out of your seat. It's a really fun airtime moment. You go out of your seat that time, and then you go bank a little bit, and then you go through this straight section. I mean, the rest of the ride is around the queue, which is, I mean, it's fun. You're going, it's just a straight section. Again, you're gliding. It's just absolutely fun. When you think of this coaster, you think of fun, like how tall it is. Like, you can see this coaster from a long ways away. I mean, I saw it when I was 10 miles away. I was driving down the road, and then right down the road you can see it kind of goes down the road, and then you have Lake Erie, and then you have Millennium Force, and then you see the lift hill, which is just really cool. I mean, how you can see all Cedar Point and Millennium Force. So then you go through this last bank turn. I would say it's the worst out of all of them. I mean, it's still fun. Everybody will see it when you're walking around. It's just it's right next to Rougarou. I mean the entrance is right next to Rougarou. I mean, yes, it's fun bank turn, and then you glide into the brakes. Yeah, the brakes. I mean, the brakes kind of don't stop you. I don't know why I'm saying this, but they feel like you're going. And then you go on, it feels like it's going so fast. You go on the brakes, and then you kind of glide and keep gliding, and then when it curves around just to go into the station. And when you go into the station, there's actually two of them. One is where you get off. Now let's actually talk about the ride and all of the cool and weird things about it and just my overall experience. Now let's talk about the location. I already talked about this earlier in the video, and I'm going to talk about it more. This is right smack dab right next to Lake Erie. I mean, are you kidding me? That is insanely good. I mean, you can see it from almost everywhere. Right next to Cedar Point. And you have a perfect view. You can see Canada. I already said that you could see Canada. It's just insane. That view is insane. I mean, you can see almost the whole entire park. You like I said, you can see Canada. You can see Canada and America, which is really cool. And you can see Top Thrill Dragster right next to you, hanging over you, even though since Top Thrill Dragster is taller. But yeah, the location is just insane. Now let's talk about the overhype. I mean, I don't think it is really, really overhyped. And I think it does. I'm not saying it's the best coaster in the world, but it is it is close. I still wouldn't say it's the best coaster in the world, but it is close. I mean, this coaster, it is hyped a lot. Just hyped a lot as the best coaster in the world. The hype is kind of dying down now just because of Fury 325 and Lightning Rod. Personally, my two favorite roller coasters I've ridden. But the hype is still really big, and I still think it is close to meeting those expectations. Definitely not the best, but it is very close. So let's next talk about the smoothness. As I talked about it earlier, it does vibrate just because it's higher, but it still has. The smoothness isn't I would say if I was giving a score right now, out of 10, I would give it a 9. It's close to being perfect, but it's not. I mean, yeah, it's not. It's just, it is really, I mean, yeah, it's really smooth. It's just, it does vibrate just because it's high on the track. So let's give this coaster an overall score. You guessed it, I'm giving Millennium Force a 10 out of 10. I would say, I mean, definitely this coaster is a top 5 coaster. I wouldn't say it's better than my number 1 and number 2, but it is very close. Maybe top 3, maybe top 4. I mean, I don't know. It is really good. It will rank in my top 5. It will rank in my top 5 coasters in my top 20 roller coasters I've ridden. So hope you guys enjoyed this coaster review of Millennium Force to Cedar Point, and I'll see you guys later.